Verse by verse meditations. Genesis chapter 5. Genesis chapter 5 and verse 6. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. As I read tonight's Bible verse, I am thinking that many people that hear my thoughts will want me to keep my thoughts to myself. It seems that Adam and Seth were in no hurry to have children. Well, for some of us, we can't go back and change a previous action. And for the rest of us, we cannot go back and change a previous inaction. What am I trying to say? I am sure that there are some that love their children dearly, but may think sometimes that they could have waited a little longer to have children, that they had them too early in life. But we also have persons that live on the other end of the spectrum and wish that we hadn't waited so long. Well, the reality is there are no two stories that are the same. But I always like to believe that we consider our lives successful when we can live without regret. Also, based on how the patriarchs of old followed a life cycle that was different from ours, we shouldn't allow these numbers to affect us too much. Our fathers were having their first child at ages that we would be dead. Could you imagine Adam nagging Seth to have a child because he was anxious to become a grandfather? These numbers always seem incredible to us because we have never met a 230-year-old grandpa. But I have chosen to believe that God's word is true for one simple reason. God says that his word is true. John, in writing in his gospel in verse 1 in chapter 1, writes these words: In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. God and his Word is the only evidence that we will ever have that has been provided that God's Word is true. John, again, in his writing in his later days or latter days, in 1 John chapter 5 and verse 10, he says, He that believeth on the Son of God hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not God hath made him a liar, that is, made God a liar, because he believeth not the record that God gave of his Son. So if you choose not to accept God's own testimony, the question you have to ask yourself is, whose testimony are you believing instead?